Hi, welcome to UX Living Lab. Our presentation will start soon. Hi, welcome to my presentation today. Today we are talking about how to build a sustainable innovation ecosystem for small brands. And this is the second presentation on this topic. Last week we introduced the topic, and now we are talking about designing components. Today we are talking about how to build a sustainable innovation ecosystem for small brands. So last week we talked about different components of ecosystem. Last week we introduced the topic. To brush it up, now we are talking about designing the components we talked last week is vendors or channel partners. The other component is competitors, markets, then customers, startups, other industries, internal team, academia, government. These are the components of ecosystem to be used while developing the ecosystem for your business. You have to consider all these components, as well as if there is any specific component is required for your business, that also to be added. But these are the common components. So today we are talking about vendors and channel partners. The other components we will talk in forthcoming weeks, but today we discuss only about vendors and channel partners. I am Thomas from UX Living Lab. We talk about innovation journeys. So innovation journeys start with ideation, then sketching the concept, designing look and feel, rapid prototyping, evaluating MVP and market feedback. We support R&D team or innovation team in any stage of this innovation journey. If you want to talk to me, you can just scan this QR code and fix an appointment. We can talk about how to listen, how to plan, how to execute, how to deploy, how to measure innovation from users' perspective. So that means how we can invite or how we can bring the users' perspectives to the design room. Also, you are invited to follow our newsletter. At the same time, you can share or comment this presentation. You can free to share to your colleagues or any others in your team. Okay, coming back to our topic, how to build sustainable innovation ecosystem for small brands. Specifically, we are talking about designing components for vendors and channel partners. What is the strategy for that? I'm introducing a very simple strategy. That is, first step is segmentation. The segmenting your market, segmenting your vendors and channel partners from that market, then develop the community, then engage the community and give rewards to the community to maintain that community. This is a very simple 4-step strategy, but I will go in detail how we can implement it. First, we talk about segmentation. At the same time, please keep in mind that this strategy should not connect with the sales that particular vendor is contributing to your business. That is a different thing. Don't connect to that. Maybe a small vendor will be there or a big vendor will be there. There are sales percentage is very high. The other person's sales percentage is very low. Or when we talk to vendors, that some vendors are not doing business with you, but if they are in the vendor list, that also you can consider. So it's better not to connect the sales figures to this strategy. This is not for improving your sales. This is not for improving the market share. This is only for innovation. So how to innovate your product based on these type of ecosystems to be developed and these ecosystem to be developed in a cost-effective manner. That's what we are talking about, small brands, how to build an ecosystem for small brands. The first is segmentation. How many ways you can segment? First, you have to decide what's your market reach. Are you talking about a global market, or are you talking about a regional market? Are you talking about a market only in one country, or you are talking about a market in one city? It depends. You have to define your market. That's the first thing you have to do. Okay, I'm a exporter, so I can reach any city in the world. Okay, that's fine. You can um, finalize your market reach to that level. Another person said, I'm just a small manufacturer or a small shop, which is the person that my service will reach only in that city limit. So you can limit to that. So that clarity you should have in your market. That is the first thing. Then, for example, I'm just presenting our own story. That is, we cater to almost all the markets worldwide, and we need vendors and channel partners in more than 100 cities. That's why we are marking it as different points here. So that's why we divide our geographic region, or we define our geographic region for our market. So that means we need information from all these locations. So whatever may be your market size, you can divide. Maybe it's a small market is a city-based market, so you can divide it as south, north, east, west, and center. Okay, country-wise, you can divide into states and or cities. That depends on your market size. So anyway, you have to define your market, then divide the market according to geographic region. That's the first way of grouping. Then the other way of segmenting your vendors and channel partners is number of employees. How many employees they have? Maybe 100 employees, maybe 50 employees, maybe 10 employees, maybe one-man army. Okay, you can divide, or you can group all these vendors you identified based on these conditions. Like geographic segmentation, you can divide the total vendors. Maybe you have 100 vendors. So these 100 vendors can be divided into different groups. That is 0 to 1 employee, and 1 to 10 employee, 10 to 25 employee, 25 to 50 employee, and 50 to 100 employee, like that. So there's another way of grouping. Then the next method is depending on the order processing. What method the vendor is following? Maybe a traditional method, maybe a modern method. For example, your vendor is a shop. He don't have any internet, or he don't have any website. There is no online sales. You can classify it as a traditional sales. But the person is reaching to a community using his own websites, and there is online sales is there, online booking is there, so you can treat it as a modern. So that's a way you can categorize. There's another way of grouping your vendors, modern and traditional. Then market standing or relationship with you. So the one vendor is having 25 years of experience, another vendor is having 5 years of experience in that field, or with your relationship it's only 5 years of last 5 years you know the person, or last 25 years you know that person. So in that way you can segment. So that's another way of segmentation. The next one is, of course, the sales based on their sales, the size, the business size of the vendor. So different ways you can group. This grouping is the first strategy we had to adopt while we develop innovation ecosystem, because the information should come from these groups. So the information coming from a person is having $1 billion turnover and a $100 turnover, that is different. You have to categorize it as different. So it's a one-man army. A person, a company is having 100 people. When one of your vendor is having 100 people, then you can classify their information in a different way. So these are the different methods: geographically, and number of employees, sales, then processing. Okay, these are the different ways you can categorize your vendors and channel partners, because this categorization is very important while you analyze the information, because the information that the information you are collecting from these people may be same, but this categorization is very important while analyzing the information. Then come to next point, develop community. So you already identified who should be in the community. Then the next step is develop community. How we can develop community? The nowadays the easiest and the best option is social media. That is, you can use different social media channels and connect them. So connect with that vendor. Maybe your manager is having a in-person relationship with that vendor, but you may not have. Or in some categories, only distributor is having the connection with the channel partners, but you have only connection with the distributors, but you don't know who are the channel partners. So these things to be filled up. So these things to be strategized. You should have contact. You should have a connection in social media with the person who is selling your product or service. That is one of the biggest drawbacks I notice with most of the companies. Even only they know only this end of agent and distributor. So who is selling the product? I don't know. In a shop it's available, in a street it is available. Okay, that's correct. But whether you met any of that salesperson who is selling your product, whether you talk to any your innovation team talk to any of this person who is selling your product. So what the feedback the user is giving, because user is giving feedback only to that person, salesperson. So how do you get that feedback from the salesperson to your innovation team? That means you have to talk to that person. That is not business or what is the sales size or what is the total business that person is generating. That is doesn't matter. That's a different thing. The only marketing people or sales people will take care of. But for the innovation team, they have to talk to the person who is interacting with user. You have to talk to user as well as you have to interact with the person who is talking to user. That's one of the main person who is interacting with the user is channel partner and vendors. Okay, so develop the community through social media. Any social media you can use. In some business, the social media may not be prominent, so you can use chat or WhatsApp, at least phone contact. At least phone contact. That's a must. So you have to be in touch with these people, and only you will get the information. You don't have big budget to do a big survey and get the information, or user experience research conduct globally and collect the information, because I'm talking about small brands, that's I know, so they don't have that type of budget. So you have to put the effort and keep the connections, develop the community. So whatever may be the social media which is comfortable to you, you can use maybe Facebook, Line, WhatsApp, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, or what we call LinkedIn, or any social media you can use. I'm not restricting any of these. So depending on your business, maybe your business is more B2B, it's better go for LinkedIn, or B2C, it's better go for Instagram. Or this is a way you can how the people interact with. So use any of the social media or multiple social media platforms to connect with your vendors and channel partners. This channel is only for innovation, not for promoting your product, not for sales. Okay, at least you keep some WhatsApp groups, maybe a regional wise WhatsApp groups. Okay, these vendors, or one-to-one connection with the channel partners, or at least four. This is the way you can develop the community. Then at the end, you will be reaching a big community of vendors and channel partners. So keep one-to-one contact with each one. So these are the people who are going to give information for your innovation. Then engage community, because developing community is little bit tough, but engaging community is more tough than developing the community. So you have to engage the community. Otherwise, whatever effort you put in for developing the community will be a waste after 3 months, because if you are not interacting with a person, that relationship won't develop. So daily or weekly, you have to interact with that person. So engage the community. How to engage the community? The easiest way is give some tasks and support their business. So design some tasks for them, and how this task is benefiting for your business, that is vendor's business. In turn, it will be benefiting for your innovation. So I will explain some tasks. For example, release a post on their shop mentioning your brand. So they have to release a post connecting to their shop or their activity in a social media, but your brand should be mentioned. That's a one simple task every day they can do. Or participate in surveys. You have to design the surveys and participate, invite them to participate in the surveys. That's another task. So anyway, you have to design at least one task in a week, minimum one task in a, better go for 2 to 3 tasks in a week. Yes, still you may be thinking of whether these people will cooperate. Of course, you have to reward them. This is the only expenditure you will be having. So this give some points and reward them. Design a reward scheme for them. While giving that information, you have to reward them in some way, as a cash incentive or a gift or whatever. Maybe give some incentives and encourage them to give feedback again and again. This is a strategy. So only expenditure you are incurring is the reward. That's very small, right? Something like a credit card rewards you can do. All others are based on your effort. Then how this strategy benefits to you? Look into that. So how this strategy works for you? The tasks are to be properly designed to get information for your innovation. So you have to be keen on how you are designing the task for the vendors, or what task you are engaging them, and what will be the information they are giving back. So tasks are to be properly designed to get information for your innovation. The feedbacks should be analyzed properly. They will be giving a lot of feedbacks. These feedbacks should be analyzed properly and use recommendation in your innovation process. So they will be giving a lot of feedbacks, but you have to analyze it properly. These are the areas most of the small companies are lacking, or they will be fail in this area. The designing the task, and then sometimes the people will design the task. Give me some photograph of your shop. Okay, so that's just a simple task. But maybe you have 100 vendors, then you'll be getting 100 photographs today. Then what you are going to do with that photograph? You have to analyze it properly. That is one of the area you have to stick on. Otherwise, this strategy won't give any benefit for your business or your innovation. So this is the main thing you should keep in mind, because you are designing the task for the vendors and engaging them, developing that community and getting that feedback and give rewards to them. But what is your benefit? This information is your benefit, and this information should be analyzed and use the recommendation in your innovation. So you are getting a very important information from a channel, from a component of the ecosystem. Okay, this is very important. So you have to keep one person or a team to analyze this, or you can engage outside agency for that. So this is up to you. So then properly analyze it and add the recommendation to your innovation process. So that's a simple strategy I'm put in front of you for developing the ecosystem, especially only for the vendors and channel partners. Next week I will talk about other component. So what is the strategy? Segmentation, develop community, engage community, and give rewards. So develop and engage community is not easy, as I explained now, or everything will be beautiful in a PowerPoint, but while you execute, it's not an easy thing. So develop and engage the community continuously. Don't make a break or don't think that okay they will respond. No, so continuously you have to engage them, keep them part of your team. Develop a feeling in among them that you are the part of our team. So you are part of the product, you are part of our company. So keep them part of your team. Support their business strategy. Also, you have to support their business because they are giving some information. You can identify these are some changes you can do in your business to improve it. That type of strategic recommendation also you can give. Why I'm saying this, for big companies, this is not a hard job. Also, the organizing part is there because they can conduct dealer meets, spend a lot of money, and the dealer meet they can discuss, they can conduct group discussions, they can do the seminars, and they will get a lot of information. Maybe the dealer meet can be done in every month or every quarter. Then they will get. So big companies are spending money to get this information, but being a small brand, you may not have the big budget to getting the information, so you have to put effort to build that community and keep it growing. So you can conduct group discussions with one-to-one discussion. Nowadays, every most of the people are available in social media, so you can have a video call to them. That's also fine. Or offline surveys using Google Forms or something like that. You can use. That's also fine. Or some way you have to engage them every week, then you will get the information. That's the way you have to move forward with this strategy. So more than spending, this is based on your effort, so you have to put the effort, otherwise it won't work. So develop and engage community, keep them part of your team, and support the business strategically. This is your effort. Okay, I'm done. Questions? I hope you are clear with my strategy. You may have another strategy you can follow. I am not against that, but it is one of the simplest strategy I can put in front of you for move forward. So if you have any other strategy, you can share with me as well as you can continue with that strategy. Anyway, you have to build that community, vendors, and channel partners as a component of your ecosystem and engage them continuously. Get their info because they are the people who is talking to user or your customer. You will be getting information only when the customer raise a complaint, but every day they are talking to the customers. The positive way or negative way, whatever happening, very few moments from that what happened is coming to you. So you have to keep in touch with that mediator who is promoting your brand or promoting your product or promoting your business. So that's why I'm saying that do not connect it with your sales. That's just an information channel for your innovation process. Of course, you are free to share my presentation, or if you want to talk to me, you can scan this QR code and fix an appointment. If you have questions, share it in the channel. I'll get back to you now itself or later. Thank you. Thank you so much. See you next week.